Hey guys, Ryan again with Peer Support. Giving you a little bit longer video than I typically do. We'll get into that, why that is here in a second. Want to review a little bit of 2025 and what we're kind of planning for 2026 for you guys. First and foremost, just want to say that I am not coming out of the spot yet. Captain Gardner is coming out. He's going to go take a day spot for 522. So that will be his position that's open. So if you're interested in coming to days, I would contact him to see what that job entails, but I'm staying in here. We have 11 new members on Peer Support team. We've got a handful of MMPs, and then the other three shifts we've added several members there. Trevor Gordon's dog Birdie is also signed off, so they're available if you're on B shift or if Trevor's working overtime to do diffusings, debriefings, all those kind of things. So reach out to him and or the shift coordinator for that shift. Okay, so getting into this stuff a little bit, my role here has always been to educate, bring education awareness to you guys, build some resources. It was always hard to build resources on shift, but for the last 7 months, or for the last 7 months of 2025, tried to add some clinicians, which we did, build some relationships with facilities up in Reading and throughout the state. And also improve our workers' comp paperwork stuff. That was a big help from Angela Lewis, to where she basically taught me all the paperwork that's needed for them for the presumptive stuff and how to make that more efficient for you guys. It's not perfect. People are still going to have bad experiences with workers' comp. That's just kind of the way it is. We're trying to mitigate that as much as possible, but we're trying to at least mitigate the time part of it to get your paperwork in and approved as efficiently as possible. So if you've had a diagnosis of cardiac cancer or PTSD diagnosis, please shoot me a text or an email and we'll get you set up with the paperwork to make it as easily as possible. With 2025, we also gathered some data. We improved some resources, but also gathered quite a bit of data from you guys. Had several individuals talk about the symptoms that they are suffering. The top three were anger and irritability, feeling emotionally numb, and difficulty concentrating. So those were the top three. We also had a lot, with some nightmares, intrusive thoughts, hypervigilance. So it's clear that we still have quite a few people out there having some struggles, maybe looking for some peace and some joy in their lives, trying to manage some of the symptoms that they're having. So it's been pretty clear that we're pretty reactive here. We bring some education awareness. We've got some facilities and some resources available to us, but that's, in my opinion, reactive, right? It's to the point where things aren't working out anymore, and now somebody wants to talk to a clinician or go to a facility. So how can we be more proactive? That's what 2026 is kind of about. We haven't pushed a lot of stuff out yet, but because we were trying to wrap up 2025 and kind of get this stuff set up for 2026. And so we started off with last month, myself, Captain Polis, and Engineer Schmitz went to a resiliency conference, a 3-day conference up there. The main goal of this conference was how to manage cumulative operational stress over the long haul in the last 25 to 30 years. And so we'll get in a little bit of that. This is why this video is long. I'm going to review this stuff as fast as I can, or as concise as I can for you guys. But that's going to be the whole goal of this stuff, is leading towards what we're doing in 2026, to be proactive and preventative with some of the symptoms that it's obvious that many of us are struggling with out there. So when we all, at least in the suppression side of it, go through the academy, probation, first couple of years of this job, we're basically taught how to engage that sympathetic nervous system. Pull a hose, have a cardiac call, do an MCI, high-rise drill, all those kind of things. Throw your pack for 60 seconds. So engaging that sympathetic nervous system, so your heart rate's up, your breathing is up, your digestive system shuts down a little bit, you're hyper-focused, all those kind of things. It's pounded into us to engage that sympathetic nervous system. Then we get online and the tones go off, boom, your sympathetic nervous system kicks off. Here we go, this is what I trained for. Happens over and over and over and over and over again. If we're able to reset after those what I call them dopamine dumps, your sympathetic nervous system kicks in, boom, dopamine, it feels great, here we go. and it just dumps. Over time, the call volume and the sleep deprivation contribute to our sympathetic nervous system getting worn out. Okay, sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight. It's what causes all those symptoms, high heart rate and the breathing and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of gets worn out. So now you see guys 10, 15 years on, they don't care that to go into a structure fire. Oh, it's just another garage fire. Here we go. And so we struggle with how do we engage our parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and this is some of the stuff we're going to be pushing out to you guys. Sympathetic nervous system, don't get me wrong, it's needed for our job. It's what helps us work under pressure, keep us alive, all those kind of things. That's why we train a certain way. What we're not training us on how to do is how to re-engage or how to reset that nervous system by engaging our parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that they talked about at the conference, and they make you try all these different modalities. And we're going to talk about what those are here in a second. But the problem isn't activating your sympathetic nervous system. The problem is, how do you turn it off? Okay, I know a lot of us in the firehouse will feel like it's off. I'm relaxing, I'm sitting in the recliner, all that kind of stuff, but you're never really off, especially if you've been around a long time. It's just been constant. You get in that window of tolerance, hypervigilant, dump, hyper, dump, dump. You know, you're kind of in this up-down roller coaster kind of thing, mixed in with sleep deprivation. Okay, so why do we need to engage our parasympathetic nervous system? It's where all the recovery happens. Okay, it's where all the repair happens. It slows things down, reduces your stress hormones. It allows real deep sleep to happen. So obviously at work, that's not going to happen. But how can we do that at home? We need to look into some of that stuff. It's basically the body's reset system. Okay, so if your body's healthy, you're able to engage sympathetic nervous system and then engage your parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, chronic sleep deprivation is one of the biggest contributors to things being worn out on the sympathetic nervous side. Okay, sleep is when the parasympathetic nervous system does most of its work. So obviously this job does not help that, right? It just doesn't. Most places are getting up at least 1 or 2 times a night. Most places it's more like 2 to 3 at a minimum. During your deep sleep, your body lowers your stress hormones, repairs your tissues, regulates your emotions, resets your brain chemistry. It's doing all this, it's trying to heal everything. The job that we have, everything being interrupted, makes recovery much harder. Okay? And over the years, chronic sleep disruption keeps the sympathetic nervous system partially activated. And that makes sense, right? If you're tired all the time, your body's already stressed. And so it's going to stay in that fight flight because it's already stressed, it's not rested, it's not healed, it's not recovering very well. And think of that, short term, it's fine. You could do that for a while. For me, it was about 12, 13 years before I started really feeling the stress of the job. But when it hits, it hits. What this conference taught us and what we're going to start working on, we're not sure how we're going to get this out to you guys yet, but it's not that we have to get this stuff out to you. A lot of this you can do for free. It's things like yoga, meditation, deep breathing, sound gym, massages, cold plunges, saunas. It's all those things that might be woo-woo, and I will be the first to admit that when I heard the Academy was doing yoga years ago, I was not a fan of it. Like, here we go, softening up the fire service. The problem is at that point, I probably could have used some yoga. At the conference, the 3 of us, or everybody at the conference, they make you try this stuff out. You get a 20-minute massage, you get some deep breathing, you have to do the deep breathing stuff. You have to try meditation and to see what works for you. It's not gonna work for everybody. Sound gyms do nothing for me. The deep breathing does. Captain Polis and Engineer Schmitz have found things that they've been doing. All 3 of us have been continuing some of the modalities that we learned there, if not every day, almost every day. Because when they make you try it and you have an open mind about it, you start seeing what they're talking about. You feel more calm, you feel at ease. And so those are some of the things that we're going to be pushing out to you guys. I guarantee you that if you've been in this video this long, there's probably going to be 2/3 at least, maybe even 3/4 of you guys that are like, I'm not doing that. There's no way I'm doing that. And that's fine. Again, going back to the first part of this video, my job is to bring stuff to you guys that I think are going to benefit you. It's your choice whether you want to use it or not. And that's okay. So those are some of the things we're doing. I am sending out a book from the conference to all the stations. It's an easy read. It's like 100 pages. Talks a lot about what we went over, the reasons why, goes into a little bit of the science of that stuff. It's written by a first responder, so it's not a textbook. It's an easy read. Finish it in 2 days. So you guys will be getting those shortly. Also, with all of these modalities, or with not all of them, but a handful of them, all the facilities that we send people to that are struggling with PTSD or need a higher level of care, all the places we look at that we send people to have some sort of parasympathetic engaging modality. So yoga, meditation, they will do treatment like EMDR, they will do nutrition, they'll do all those things, but they'll also bring in people to help you engage that parasympathetic nervous system, to help you try and reset some things and get some good sleep and recover and repair. So that's kind of the gist of where we're looking at 2026, is how can we be more proactive and prevent things for you guys. Looking again at the survey that we had last year, we obviously have a lot of members that are going through it, different levels. Everybody's got stuff on their plate, that stuff in their buckets. Some people's buckets overflowing and they're just hanging on with white knuckles. Other people, the bucket's filling up pretty quick. And then there are some people that empty that bucket out pretty easily. Something to think about. Just keep this in mind. Myself, the District 522, we are all trying to find ways to help improve your physical and mental well-being. As you can see with the different modalities, yoga, meditation, deep breathing, all that kind of stuff, there's all kinds of different things out there. There's all kinds of different opinions on what we should be doing and what we should not be doing. In the end, you need to take responsibility for your own physical and mental wellness. We will bring you as many things as we can, as many things as we can afford and fit into the ops calendar and all those kind of good things. But if you're waiting for us to fix everything, you're not going to leave this place healthy. So my message to any of you guys that have, again, made it this far deep in the video is, take some ownership in your own wellness, do your own research. I'm not the end all be all. I am in the stuff in the weeds quite a bit. I'm telling you things that I think are beneficial, but do your own research and find things that will benefit you. There is no easy pill. There is no shortcut. My opinion, discipline, habit forming, doing all those things over and over and over again is going to be the way to increase your wellness and feel maybe better if you're not feeling very well right now. We are always here to help. We're always here to assist, recommend. I'll talk to whoever wants to talk. But the reason I'm on days is trying to find the best possible programs that we can afford, because I truly believe that you are the most important thing here at Metro Fire. Whether it's suppression, administration, support, logistics, fleet, doesn't matter. We're all going through stuff. Suppression might have their buckets fill up a little bit faster. That does not mean that somebody in support services doesn't have stuff on their plate that needs to get dealt with. So these are things for everybody. And I know I lean towards suppression, and I think that's because of the schedule and the call volume. But that doesn't mean that this is only for them. Okay, so a little bit longer video than I like or anticipate. I don't like doing these long videos. There's a lot of information on here. You may not agree with any of it or some of it. That's fine. Let me know. Let me know, and if you have questions or concerns or recommendations, I'm open to those as well. All right, please continue to take care of yourself, your crews, and your families. Talk to you later.